So anyways, how the hell is it scripted? Jerry. It can't be all scripted. It just can't be scripted. The whole world can't be scripted. You know how many people it would take? It takes just millions and millions of people. And it takes so many. I don't care how big the Masonic Lodge's system is. It's going to take too many people to script everything. It's going to take way too many people. Too many, you say. Or is it just certain things that have to be scripted, and the rest just fall in line? Well, you know, the tools that support getting the tool will do anything for the tool. Therefore, inherently becoming. Hi, Sarah. How are you today? Not Siri. Damn it, Siri turned on. I meant Sarah. Apparently that was close enough to saying the other, word. And you know what the funny thing is? It's synchronicity. I'm going to talk about Apple today. But before we get to the information about Apple, I want to start here. We all know what this is, right? That's a Masonic hall with the black and white checkerboard. Sometimes it's black and red. And it's all about the duality, Joachim and Boaz right there, your pillars, and that also represents the duality. And yeah, I gotta be careful because with my Eastern accent, saying Sarah sounds like the Apple girl, okay? And you're definitely not the Apple girl because you're not crazy, and my Apple computer is crazy, just going off all the time by itself. And listening into my conversations, that Apple, and we're going to get into why your Apple may be listening into your conversations. Back to the Masonic checkerboard. We see the black and white, the duality. Okay, we're going to put let's put somebody alongside of that, and it might help make a little more sense. What do we got there? Is that Mr. Referee? Mr. Referee. Sports are rigged. No, they can't be rigged. You know how much it would take? You know how many people it would take? Well, if all the referees are Masons, and when you start investigating some things, you come to find out, well, the referees have their own secret society. That's a Masonic fraternity. Yes, they do. So, it is fact that referees are basically Masons. That explains some of the scripting. So let's get rid of this Masonic hall and just I want to keep everybody keep in mind here we have Mr. Referee, and what I'm going to bring in here is Mr. Browser so we can see a few things. All right, what we're going to talk about is Mr. Tim Cook. Okay, Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. Okay, recently you may have seen him in the news because he spoke about, well, censoring certain people for hate speech and conspiracy theories on his platforms. Because apparently, just because he's a CEO, it's his platforms and not the shareholders, which, okay, whatever. But Mr. Tim Cook here, the one thing they didn't tell you is where he gave the speech. He did it at a ADL, Anti-Defamation League, ceremony where they were awarding him an award. Yes, the ADL gave the CEO of Apple an award. I think if you've watched any of my videos, you know who the ADL is. So, if you're getting an award from the ADL, what does that mean? That means you're one of these New World Order, let's destroy humanity people. Because we want our perception of the world to rule and everybody else's hate speech. Okay? So, and I'm going to be careful about talking about the ADL here because let me tell you something. Out of almost anything you talk about, talking about the ADL will get you censored because they're like, it's like a duality. Their duality is, okay, we promote, saying the right things, but anything we don't like is hate speech. Huh? Doesn't make any sense. But that's the ADL for you. So anyways, Mr. Tim Cook wins an award for, and hello there, Joe Seeger retracted his message. Huh. Don't retract your message. Usually got good stuff. Anyways, he wins an award from the ADL, which is quite disturbing in its own right. But what I find, I'm going to see if I can browse here and see if I can interact, because before I couldn't. And for some reason, this is locked up and it's not letting me scroll down. I don't know why this is locked. There must be a button I didn't push correctly. Let me check out and see what I did. Refresh current page, see if that works. No, pop it out, interact, and still doesn't let me do it. All right, properties, and let me. Let's see. Let's try that. Act. There we go. There. Okay. What did I do? I locked something up. I'm sorry about messing this up. I want to show you this though. Okay. Let's do this again. Let's do this again because you need to see this. This is important stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. And now we're going to interact. It's not letting me interact. Okay. Come on. Let's try it one more time. If not, then we're just going to go on without it. Refresh. All right, it's not letting me pop out. So the important thing here, even though it didn't let me do it, is if you go on Wikipedia, and I know Wikipedia isn't the best source, but certain basic information is usually correct. What it does talk about is on the other boards he sits on, besides Apple. One of them being Nike, and the other being the NFL. Okay. So, like Bill Gates, you have a New World Order guy, but this man happens to not only spy on you through your Apple phone, but also part of the NFL. So, yeah, you know, whether it's the NFL or your media, they're connected to these New World Order people. Okay, and they have agendas. You know, Mr. Tim Cook happens to be, you know, part of the NFL, part of the NWO, and part of the APPLE. So, it's kind of scary. But when you think about it, it's not that hard for them to do their bullcrap. You got your Masonic referees, okay? And all they got to do is adjust a call here and there to make sure certain plays are done here and there. You got your Masons that are your, you know, quarterbacks and your other primary players. So they're all basically in on it. That's how easy it is to script it. That's just sports. Never mind the news media. It's not complicated for them to do the things that they do without people knowing. It's very scary that these things go on. But when you look at it, I don't think I'm going to buy another Apple product. And it kind of screws you because what are you going to do? Buy a PC product from Bill Gates? Where he's vaccinating people in foreign countries just to, you know, sterilize them or kill them? It's a screwed up world. And they're going to regulate it as much as they can. Listen, we saw there Tim Cook went after Alex Jones. We know how much Alex Jones is a bullcrap, but he is kind of like the patsy. You know, just like on some of the false flag things, he's now going back on his stories. You know, because if he goes back on his stories, it gives the story more credibility. They use them to get in, infiltrate, then turn it back around. Okay? But if you leave it up to these people, yeah, they're going to go after their own shills first. And that's the threat to the, rest of us out there, you're going to go along with our story, or we're going to come after you. And you won't have a platform to speak on anymore, because that's the way it's going to be. That's what they're saying. And it's understood by me, and I think so many others, that, yeah, well, our time may be getting thin on how long we're allowed to actually even be here, even when we do have to censor ourselves as much as we do. So, yeah, people like Tim Cook are destroying the truth. And we need to be made aware of it. And if it wasn't for literally somebody that had been, there's like a little private independent news organization that got attacked on Apple by using some of their platforms, getting kicked off of using their platforms, that made sure to let people know that this speech was at the ADL. Because all the other news agencies didn't mention the part that it was at the ADL, that he was given an award from the Anti-Defamation League. They forgot to, list that. And I think that's extremely important, for people like us that know the truth about the ADL. Yeah, why'd they leave that part out? I think I'm going to have to really consider next time I get an Apple product. Because with people like him, man, I'm not going to support their destruction of people like me. He hates the truth. He's not a good person. He's greedy. Listen, these rich people, when it comes down to it, it's like they're so set in their ways of wanting, oh, my new world order, we're going to have this. I'm going to cherry pick this world. And because we deserve this world, and all the rest of you, all you little people, you have to follow along with what we want. Because we're better than you, because we come from money. Listen, Tim Cook, again, go back to that Wikipedia page. I couldn't, scroll through so easy. Came from IBM. How many times? IBM. IBM spit out what? Bill Gates? Right? His mother? Mother worked for IBM, top board person. Of course, their family was into eugenics forever. But that's the reason why Microsoft is what it is. It's a spin-off of IBM. Do the research on it. So, scary situation. IBM is basically CIA. New World Order CIA. All the way. Only takes a few minutes of investigating that. Okay? These rich people, they don't want the truth out there. And I'm getting tired of these people on the internet. Well, the Bible says the truth will be seen. And yeah. When they're talking about the truth being seen, that's us trying to get as little bit as we can out there, or as much as we can without being overly censored. And it's never going to be anything else ever again, because they're going to make sure that you in the future only see the truth a little bit, but never get to experience it, because they're going to change not just all these books out there, because your school books are telling the lie of 9/11 and all these other false flags, but they're going to make sure that everything is twisted on the internet, so you will never get the future. Never in the future will get the truth. Your grandchildren are never going to know the truth. They are not going back on their stories. And people like Tim Cook are going to make sure that never happens. We need to stop people like that. But what are you going to do? Imagine going to a line where people are waiting for their iPhones and telling them this. Saying, listen, they want to destroy. Tim Cook wants to destroy the truth. Maybe you should think about not buying some Apple products. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm getting my iPhone. Yeah, no. It's the world we live in. I don't know what, but we need to do something monumental to change this, because the truth, well, its days are numbered. And that scares the shit out of me.